And we always start these things with the same statement, which is we can't afford not to record. And so that lets us know we're live, and everything here we'll probably post afterwards. We try not to cut too much. So we're going to start with, this is our first ever show not inside. So, Emily, would you mind telling us where we are?
Sure. We're in Ferrum, Virginia. We are on West Franklin Road, and we're just past Ferrum College and the Blue Ridge Institute on Route 40. And we're at the Ferrum Farmers Market. It happens every Thursday starting at 3 p.m. And we're at the site of the proposed park that will include hiking trails, campsites, a playground, all ADA accessible, an amphitheater, and more.
Will what's currently here still be available? Because like just for the farmers market, there's vendors, 10 vendors, 10, 12 vendors, all set up with different things. Are they still going to have spaces for this?
Absolutely. So the parcel is 84 acres, currently owned by the county. The Friends of Ferrum Park are working on acquiring it. So this part that we're sitting in right now with an open field, you can see it from the road. There's a food truck. There's lots of vendors selling all kinds of good stuff. That will still remain. We also have some events that have happened. Last Saturday we had a flea market. Last Halloween there were haunted trails and trick-or-treating. And so there's all kinds of neat stuff in the works. All that will stay the same. The intention is to allow the space to remain as a community space, gathering space, and also preserve the green space, make it accessible and available to the public so that we can all continue to enjoy the trails and the woods and the nature that's here.
Okay, now, so Friends of Ferrum. Tell me about this group. When did it begin? So Rebecca?
So the Friends of Ferrum Park group started about 18 months ago.
It's new.
Yeah, we're relatively new. It kind of came from the county's proposal to take this land and put between 140 and 400 houses on it. The community kept saying, but you guys promised a park, you promised all these amenities to go with it, and when the plan actually came out, it ended up being just housing. There was nothing on it for the community. So I myself, Susan Selvage, Katrina Harrison, Rachel Blankenship-Tucker, Emily Blankenship-Tucker, there were quite a few of us that were in a group called Ferrum Forward. And that's a local community group here in Ferrum too that was started whenever the county decided to do the Ferrum Village Area Plan, which is essentially saying, like, here's everything we can do to make this area better. So Ferrum Forward got together as a community group and said, okay, let's make it happen. And so they started doing these different projects throughout the community to meet all those needs. And when this happened with the county saying that it was just going to be housing, a bunch of us felt like that wasn't quite fair because there was so many responses to all their surveys that had said, no, we'd like a place for recreation, we'd like a place for, community, and the farmers market was one of the top things people wanted. The Ferrum Forward had already started the farmers market back in 2021, but it was at a church parking lot. And that was great. It was amazing they let us use that, but there was no public spaces. You couldn't set up anywhere unless it was privately owned. And that church was the only one that would allow us to do it. So the problem was, though, is they ended up changing hands and no longer allow anybody to use the property. So we kind of scrambled and we're figuring out, where should we have it now? And we asked the county. We said, you have all this property, it's sitting here, can we use it? And for this, until you guys figure out what you're doing. And they said yes. So they let us use it. And that kind of entire thing became this whole dream project of how can we make sure this stays for the community.
Okay.
That's where the plan came from.
All right, so now build me a timeline. So when were you at the other location doing the similar events? Last summer, so a full summer ago.
Yep.
And when was the request made to the county?
Last fall.
Yep,
we asked for the ability to have the farmers market here because we saw that was coming down the pipeline and we kind of wanted to test it out, see if it was something they'd be open for. They were, and then we wanted to see how it performed, like how well it did being down here. And we ended up doubling the amount of people who came. And now we're tripling the amount of people who came last year. So we have almost 300 customers that come.
Okay.
Every week.
Yes.
We have anywhere from usually 12 to 20 vendors. Depends on the day. We don't charge anything. We do all of the costs of everything through fundraising. So like we have porta potty rentals and insurance. Those are our main costs.
Okay.
And so we've done all that through just collecting donations at the donation table, and that helps cover the cost of everything.
All right. So then now it'll lead me to